Good afternoon, pepper lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Isotope. Today I'm going to be making a Khang Starr Lemon Starrburst and Pear hot sauce. Now, a few things to note. Number one is I've never successfully made a hot sauce before, so I'm not really sure why I'm turning this into a video. Number two, this is my first hot sauce where I'm not using fermented peppers, and the fermented peppers might have been the source of my failure. My hot sauces in the past haven't tasted very good, so I'm going to try and correct that today. That said, this isn't a guide, this is just me documenting my process of making a hot sauce. But yeah, the primary objective today is to use up the pears that I have, which are going quite soft now, and to use up my Khang Starr Lemon Starrburst harvest. One that I'm quite proud of, to be honest. It's a good Fino Khang Starr Lemon Starrburst, so I'm going to do them justice, hopefully. Now, the recipe that I'm using is actually from ChatGPT, so it's an AI generated recipe. Let's see what happens, shall we? I'm gonna get to it and then try and document as much of it as I can. Hopefully it goes well, we'll see. So first of all, I'll just go over the ingredients that I'm using. So I've got, obviously, my Khang Starr Lemon Starrburst peppers in here. Roughly 30 grams of ginger, another 30 grams of garlic. That's actually an elephant garlic clove. It's pretty big. It's also quite green, so I'm not really sure about that, but we'll see what happens. And I've got approximately half an onion, which works out about 100 grams of onion. I'm going to use roughly 500 grams of chopped pear. Now I peeled and chopped those kind of in advance, but I do have more pears that I'm going to peel and prepare on camera. What else have I got? So I'm going to use a bit of rum just at the end to kind of give it that Caribbean-y finish. Also, guys, don't mind over here. It's the washing up zone. What I've done is I've actually run the washing up water before I start, so as I get things dirty, I can just chuck them straight in there. It just makes cleanup a lot easier. I'm going to add some cumin, about a quarter of a teaspoon of them. Sorry. Some allspice, mixed spice, whatever you want to call it. Another quarter of a teaspoon of that, and quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon too. And I'm going to have 3/4 of a tablespoon. I'm just making up my own measurements now. Quarter of a teaspoon, 3/4 of a tablespoon. You know what? I'm just going to give that talking. 3/4 of a teaspoon of mustard seeds. There we go. We got it out eventually. I can't remember how much white wine vinegar. I think it was 180 ml. That could also be wrong. But yeah, that's the good stuff. White wine vinegar is very good. A lot of recipes suggest apple cider vinegar. I find that can be a bit harsh, maybe for your first hot sauce. And of course, the juice of a lemon, and maybe some of the rind as well, depending on how zesty I'm feeling. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to try and show off as much of my cooking technique as I can. I should also say I'm not a chef. I don't really have a cooking technique. I just kind of do things. But yeah, I'm going to try and show me peeling the pears as much as I can. I'll only do one, just so you get the gist. Pears are very easy to peel. Now, I was thinking about uses for the skin, but I couldn't come up with any. I'm sure if I was making a hot honey, pear skins would actually be quite an interesting thing to add to that, but I'm not making a hot honey today, unfortunately. So they're going to have to go in the compost. Maybe dehydrated pear skins might be a thing, like a fruit leather. It'd be very tough though, I imagine. Cut that down the middle. Slice that again. And then to core it, pears don't really have a great deal of core, to be honest. Apologise in advance if any knife techniques that I'm using aren't quite right. Like I say, I'm not a chef. However, what I can say is I've never injured myself with a knife before. Touch wood. So I must be doing something right. Or I'm just really lucky. And what I've done is I put a little bit of lemon juice in the bowl of pear, just to stop them going brown, stop them oxidising too quickly. Top tip for you there. So I just started chopping everything up and I realised I've committed a cardinal sin. Now, you ask anyone in any profession about personal protective equipment and why it's so important to wear it. I forgot my apron. Now, this apron was made for me by Autumn. It's very nice, I do really like it. But actually I just thought of a question that people might have. Why on earth did I choose a ChatGPT recipe? Why didn't I just choose one of the recipes that are on the internet? Now, let me tell you, I could rant about this for hours. But one of my main gripes with the internet these days is the amount of adverts and pop-ups and subscribe to my newsletter messages that are just constantly on every website, and you gotta scroll through someone's life story to get to the recipe. ChatGPT didn't give me its life story, it just gave me a recipe. So what I'm gonna do next is the onion. Oh, okay. Oh. Gosh, it's like those Russian nesting dolls, oh my god. Okay, so I don't really have the best technique for cutting up onions. So in this video I'm going to be showing off how much I don't know really. That outer skin looks a bit leathery. Didn't do a very good job there, did I? Yeah, I'll just get rid of that. So you can marvel at my chefing technique. I've seen all these videos of different chefs cutting up onions very quickly and expertly. I can't do that, and I'm not even going to try and do that. Doesn't need to be perfect. What I'm going to do is I'll chuck that in actually with the ginger. The ginger that I'm using is frozen ginger. So it's kind of melted a little bit. So what I got for this is something I actually bought from a chili festival a couple of years ago now. This is actually a garlic rubbing plate. So you take your garlic and you hold it at the end, and then you make a circular motion like that. And garlic disintegrates against the kind of abrasive edge of the plate, and then you can scoop it all off afterwards and it basically minces it up for you. So the first thing you want to do when you got a plate like this is get it wet. This is already a little bit wet. And then you take the garlic and you you can see already that paste already starting to come out. Now you're wondering, why is your garlic green? And to that, I don't know. This is an elephant garlic clove, even though it looks more like a whole bulb. It's an elephant garlic clove. I picked it and then I cured it, and then for some reason it turned green and it foams. So yeah, fun. I don't know what's causing that. Maybe because the garlic was harvested a bit late. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm hoping that it doesn't affect the flavour. It certainly smells garlicky. Yeah, you get the idea. This is going to take me a while. Okay, so next up, I'm going to start processing these absolutely beautiful peppers. I think I'm just going to slice them up roughly. I'm going to try and de-seed them as much as I possibly can, but also leave most of the placenta, which is where the heat is. As I was mentioning before, PPE is very important. So when you're handling peppers, one more of my top tips is don't use your standard yellow washing up gloves. Instead, have a look on Amazon and see if you can get yourself a pack of nitrile gloves. Specifically, nitrile gloves actually help prevent the capsaicin from entering your hands, whereas washing up gloves, they're actually permeable to capsaicin, so capsaicin can go straight through them and really irritate your skin. It's horrible, especially if it's like your first time dealing with hot peppers. That's not an experience that you want to have. Cut them open. You've seen this a million times before, haven't you? Gonna try and keep these seeds. Maybe someone will want them. I mean, it's a good pheno. I would definitely want these seeds. So I must thank Mojo from the PLC Discord again for the seeds for this plant. Pheno came very true. Yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of digging out the seeds from within there, but leaving this white part, which is the centre. That is where all the heat is. And I think I'm going to leave them maybe in cultures. Just chop that up, take those seeds out. Okay, so even with all the gadgets that we've got, we don't have a lemon juicer. So I've added 125 ml of white wine vinegar into here, and I'm going to attempt to juice this lemon. I've never done this before, so who knows what's going to happen. So I'm just going to slice it, but I'm just going to give it a squeeze. There is some juice coming out. Surprisingly, no pips have come out. That's really good. Okay, 1/2 done. There. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right then, we're finally getting into the good bit, where we start cooking things. So in this pan I've got a tablespoon of oil, and I've got my onions. What I'm going to do is put that on a medium heat, and I guess I'll just let it cook. I believe the recipe says let it cook for 5 to 7 minutes until the onions are translucent. So yeah, I'll be back in about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, I'm going to call that done. Might have burnt them slightly, but hopefully that is okay. So that's the garlic and the ginger, and I've added the mustard seeds for that bit of paste as well. So yeah, I've added those mustard seeds in, and I'm just going to put that in there now. I've just chucked that in there. I had to take it off the heat because it was so hot. Steaming up the camera now. But yeah, that's what it looks like at this stage. I'm just going to keep cooking it for another couple of minutes, I think. Just 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, so I just added a little bit of water to try and deglaze the pan a bit, and I'm just about to add the pear and the pepper, and I'm going to add them all in one go. Just going to do that real quick right now. Right, just added the pear and the pepper. I'm going to keep stirring this for about 5 minutes before I add the spices, and then it'll be time to add the vinegar. And let me tell you, it is smelling rather good. So it's now looking and smelling really good. The pears have really started to break down. The pepper is starting to get a bit soft. The aroma is really coming out. So what I've got here to add to this mixture is my little spice mix. So that's got 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of sweet cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And that's going to go in there right now. And that is just going to level this sauce up a bit, I would imagine. So that's all combined with those spices now. I must say it's smelling delicious. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the white wine vinegar and the lemon juice, and I'm just going to pour that straight in there, and it's got some of the brown sugar in as well. Lovely. Oh, I can smell that has just immediately changed things. It smells amazing now. That is really good. Alright, so I'm gonna cook this down for about 20 minutes now, I think. And then it should be ready to blend. But well, yeah, we'll come back in about 20 minutes when that's simmered down, and I'll talk you through what I'm going to do next. So this has been cooking away for about 5 minutes now. What I've done is I've added some lemon zest to this already, just a little bit, like not even a quarter of a lemon's worth of zest. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little shot of rum, and we'll see what happens. No fire, that's good. Alright then guys, it's been about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and I'm happy with the consistency of the sauce now. If you look at that, it's still quite thick, but it's still got quite a bit of liquid as well. I think I can always add a little bit of water or something if I need to free it up. But the plan is to get this into a few small bottles and then give them away. Obviously I'll do a taste test, see how it is, but it's looking mighty fine so far. I'm going to let this cool down and then blend it. It's been about an hour since I made the sauce. As you can see, the consistency is pretty good. It might be a bit lacking in moisture, so I can always add some more vinegar to that, but it's always best to start thick and then you can thin it out sort of as you need to. So I'm about to blend it now. This is my weapon of choice. It's a little Russell Hobbs stick blender, and I'm going to be going in to these tiny little jars, little sample jars, through the funnel, and yeah, hopefully that'll work well. Everything's been sterilised and then washed again. So yeah. Right, so I've put this through the blender a little bit, and as you can see, it's still quite thick. I think perhaps too thick for a hot sauce. So I'm just going to add some more white wine vinegar, get that thinned out a bit. Right, I've added all the vinegar I'm going to add. I've tasted it, it tastes fantastic. But you can see it's still quite thick, but that's probably a much better consistency there than what was there before. So I'm happy with that. Like I said, it tastes really good, nice and sweet. Yeah, I'm going to bottle it up now. Check this out guys, just made the first one. I think that's a really nice colour. I think someone's going to like that. Yeah, that is a beautiful colour in that bottle. It's slightly green. I guess that's from the garlic. Hey guys, we made hot sauce. Oh, I made hot sauce. Made it. I'm quite happy with the colour. It's kind of yellow but also a little bit green, I think, from the garlic. It's got a good consistency. There's a decent pour there, I think. It is quite thick, but I like my hot sauces quite thick. So yeah, let's give this one a try. That is really thick, and that is a lot. That is a lot. Well, don't make the goods if you can't try them.
Go on.
So the first thing you get when you try this sauce is a nice bright citrusy flavour, kind of a bit acidic from the vinegar, and then you get that like pear sweetness, and the texture of the pear is in that hot sauce. And then those spices that I added came through. Maybe I should have added a few more. Oh, it's not too hot yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should have added a bit more spice. Next time I think I'll double the spices in that, because they're not really quite there. But yeah, the heat kicks in about now. It's in the back of my throat.
Take that.
Yeah, it's in the back of my throat. It's warming. It's also on my lips. It's just starting to kind of creep up the back of my throat, and it's like a nice.
Shall I have some?
Slow burn. Yeah, you can have some. I'll take a look. Take it quite a bit, because it's not actually that hot. That's it. That's good.
That amount?
Yeah, that is a good amount. Yeah. Off you go.
I'm scared.
What do you think? It's hot. Instantly hot for you. I guess I've been eating it all day, so I'm probably kind of immune to it,
but it's alright. Yeah, it's quite sweet. It is quite nice. There's like, I think I'm getting the lemon and the vinegar, which I always like. I'm not a fan of, but it's not too much. Like I've definitely bought ones that are just. I mean, some of them are like 90% vinegar.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good amount.
Good.
I like it, and I like that it's thicker.
Yeah. Would you put it on a burger?
Yeah, I might actually.
Nice. That's a win then.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pear hot sauce.
I don't get the pear.
No, it's quite a subtle flavour, even though it's the main ingredient. But yeah, this is the goods. This is how many I made. I made six little bottles, one big bottle, and then about half a jar.
That's not half.
About a quarter of a jar. Not even that really. About a fifth of a jar.
I'd say that's a quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, that went really well. I'm actually really impressed with how that hot sauce went. I followed a recipe and it went well. So I'll definitely do that again. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Cooking with Isotope, whenever that may be, because I don't really tend to do them that often.
Another 2 years.
Another 2 years. Stay tuned.
Bye.